And welcome back to The Average White Guys. My name is Alex Haynes. We're the owners of A Squared. We are a marketing consulting firm that helps people turn likes into real dollars and help businesses grow and increase their revenue. And I'm here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I talk to as the bearded stranger, the legend, the man with the perfect beard, akin to a god. You may know him as Justin Skelton. I know him as much better and much more. Not allowed to say his name in public like that for fear of getting struck down by God. Welcome, Justin Skelton.
Hey, everybody. This is Justin with LLW Properties and Community Real Estate Services.
And what are we talking about today?
Everything is AI.
It's fucking AI, even when it's not.
Yes. And you have firsthand experience in this.
Yep. So there's a little story about tonight's podcast. I recently absconded off to Las Vegas for a tech event called Consumer Electronics Show. And I've come back with some toys for my friends, little things, and a lot of crazy fun experiments and stories. And this is the first time Jess and I have gotten together to kind of talk about what I saw and how is the world being developed, right? It's kind of a, hey, this is what's going to happen in the next couple of years conversation.
Yes. And so we'll get into some of the technologies and some of the fun and stupid things I asked.
No, I don't think
getting up to this.
Stupid. I just was like, oh, okay, this is why.
But I think the first thing that I think people would be interested in is how large this is.
I mean, it's super uber small.
Yeah.
Gesture.
And if you can explain even how big this is in the sense of who even came, like your Teslas, your Googles, your like the big names were there.
Oh yeah. So everyone was pretty much there. Almost everyone the big name was there. I'm trying to think if Tesla was there. Actually, no, they did have a booth. Tesla was there. So was a lot of the newer robot taxis. I saw like all the new ones, like the Y. How do you say that? It's in San Francisco right now. The one where the lights stopped working and so they just stopped.
Oh,
moving.
yes.
Weave. How do you say that? Weebo, I think. I don't know the name very well, which I'm really excited about because I want to try one. I just don't live in an area that has the robo taxis yet. But I saw like 2 or 3 companies, really big names. Companies like LG is there. Sony was there. All the big names. Hyson was there. They had a huge display. It was really, really cool stuff. I was trying to convince myself and my team why we needed a 230-inch TV, flat screen TV, and all of us agreed we needed one. Then we saw the price tag, and everyone else thought we still needed one, and me, who has to pay for it, said, "You know what? Let's take a step back."
So how tall is this thing?
It was size of probably the green screen that you and I use.
Okay,
that's how big it's 230 inches. And there's some really cool AI stuff that I will talk about later about dynamic coloring and lighting effects, which was really, really cool. But yeah, some really big names. If you've heard of them and they currently sell stuff, like Cat was there.
Even Apple was there?
Apple wasn't there, but they had products that supported Apple. So like there's a whole section that's all like iHome and iProducts that support Apple devices. Okay. So Consumer Electronics Show is what consumers are going to be buying. So there's a lot of like headphones and like support items. So there's a lot. I think I sent some photos to friends about stuff that like cases for the phones, little things like that, all the way to like new products coming to the market. There were new ebook readers and new phones even. So one of the cool things that I got excited about, which I just don't know if actually going to be a thing. Have you ever seen an ebook that uses magnetic ink? So it feels like real paper, looks like real ink.
No, not at all.
You know, the old Nooks that didn't, that were a little older, they didn't have backlit displays. It wasn't LCD screens. It was like ink. They call it like e-ink or something. Okay. You ever heard of that?
No.
All right. So e-ink they use a metallic ink that basically the computer can write onto the screen, but there's no backlighting. So you don't have to worry about blue light or anything giving you headaches. Okay. And it looks like natural ink on a screen. So it feels more real. But now they have it for phones, which is a big deal with like clickable touch screen stuff, which is really cool. It's a really geeky thing. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. But if you understand how phones can warp your psychology, and backlit screens aren't technically good for you, and this is why blue blocking lights or glasses are a really big thing in the tech community. there's a whole science behind like staring at your phone keeps you up at night because the blue light affects how your brain does stuff, tires your eyes. There's a whole thing. So e-ink doesn't do any of that. It's more natural. And so it's easier and better for your eyes and better for your psyche long term.
Okay.
Also uses a lot less power, which means your phones can like last for a week without charging. It's really cool. It's like a low tech, high tech type thing. A really geeky thing.
So when you were talking about going to this convention, I didn't know it was as low as glasses, as covers for phones and stuff like that. I thought this would be more of the big boys and things, which it is.
All that. So
but I didn't think the little things were there. So that's interesting.
So, from the little things, like I think I brought back some little cool gadgets from like USB drives. They have people selling like chargers for like your phone and stuff, like battery packs. The MagSafe stuff was really big. To companies selling like NAS systems that have AI built into them for like searching and some really cool technology, to stuff that supports like the new Mac with Thunderbolt 5 and support, to TVs and like the next thing. So the cool thing about TVs is they have what they're calling wallpaper TVs. They're thinner than a penny.
Okay.
Really, really cool stuff. They had a what they call the first invisible TV, where it's a piece of glass, and when it's turned off, it's no TV. You see through it like glass. When it turns on, it's like a normal TV. They had projection TVs. They had a John Deere with tractors there, showing off how AI is used to increase by 30 to 40% more crop yield. So increase crop yield by like 30%. Okay. Which I was like, oh, that's cool. And then they said the number, what that actually means. So like, oh, you can get like 5 more trucks, and each truck is like $100,000 worth of product. I was like, this is $500,000 extra. They're like, on average, sometimes more. I went, I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong business. So they're showing really cool stuff, like how technology is improving and doing things where you could take someone who's never driven a tractor before, sit in a tractor thing, hit a button, and it does it for you. It'll do everything from speed. It will figure out what's in front of you. It will shift the gears. It'll do all of that for you. So you don't have to do all that training. You take 15 to 20 years to get to that level. Now that the system's figuring it out for you. So you can have someone brand new almost become an expert the minute they sit in this chair, because AI is doing the job for them, which means you can hire people faster. You don't have to have them training. You don't have to pay as much. All the big ones, right?
Okay. Side story here for a second. So I'm laughing at that one because I go back to when I was about 16. I lived in California my whole life. My uncle moved back to Texas, was on a dairy, and he was feeding the cows, and he asked me to drive the tractor for him. I still didn't have my license, but it was a tractor, and I was going like 3 miles per hour. Mm-hmm. But where he was at, there was hornets. And I'm like, if you've been in Texas, you know, they say everything's bigger in Texas. Well, these things are like 4-inch big hornets, right?
Yes.
So one of them comes into the cab of the truck. And so all of a sudden he looks up, and I'm outside the tractor, just basically driving it by like 2 fingers and sitting on the side of the tractor. And he's just going, get the fuck back in there. He was so pissed at me. I'm like, no, there's a hornet in there. I'm not going back in there. And so, sorry, I'm just going to my mind. I'm like, see, that would have, when AI would have came in handy. Yep. It could have drove the thing. And it didn't give a crap if there was a hornet in there.
Yep, that is true.
Sorry.
No, but
one of my childhood stories that I always loved to.
That's amazing. Yeah. I also not to know to get you hornets now. So
yes.
But yeah, so John Deere was here. They had a big thing. Cat was there. They were showing like how they've created a new AI to help you figure out what for not necessarily for consumers, but for businesses. A lot of times people don't know the right product for the right job. So you tell it the job you're doing, and it'll tell you the right things to have for that job, which is a big win because there's a lot of overlap of what a machine could do. So some of the machines can do a couple different things, but you might be using the wrong machine for the wrong result. And so it would actually help you pick the right thing and the right. So it was a really cool like app they built, and they're showing off that. So things like that. We had cars, like brand new cars that are coming to the market that are smart cars that drive themselves, or that are machines that are super cost effective. So in the United States, EV tax went away, or the EV benefit went away. So a lot of people were shying away from that. Well, these companies are producing EV cars for like $10,000 to $20,000, which is insanely cheap.
Yeah.
Right. So they're saying, yeah, we have a model that costs us 10, which means we can get to the market for 15 or 20. Well, that's now very competitive, right? And you don't have to worry about having to have a tax credit. Now that means they're, competitive, which is a good thing. So we have things like that coming to the market that we saw. We had there's a lot of food development stuff. I saw
Like for fast foods and those type of things.
Yeah. So I saw, we actually looked into this, but there was a cotton candy machine. So you know how people do the cotton candy and they make it like a star or something with the different flavors, right? And you can like charge 10 to 15 bucks. Well, they had a robot machine, like a vending machine that does it. And so the cost to me, if I bought one of the machines wasn't that much. It was like $200K for the machine. But the cost per product was 3 cents to make, and they're selling them for $10 to $15. And so he says one guy in this first month made his entire investment back, and now he's doing like X amount of dollars a month. It's insane. I was like, this is nuts. But it was some really cool things. There were vending machines that would do ice cream and do special ice cream things. There were vending machines that made soup and like pizza and like.
Yeah, I've heard in like Asia, that's really popular.
Huge. Now, we've been exploring that as a secondary business option. It's a whole conversation of whether the US is ready for that or not. I don't think we are, but that's a different conversation.
Because we need to talk offline, because I've actually been thinking about getting into the vending machine business as well.
I think it's a huge moneymaker. There's some things I'm working out because because I've done the research. There's a side of the vending machine that no one talks about in the work to make it work. Right. And everyone talks about the money-making potential, but no one actually talks about what it takes to actually make it profitable. And there's some factors, very specific factors to make it work well. That we can talk offline about. Or join us for another podcast. If you want us to talk about that as a business opportunity, explore that, comment, tag us, say something, subscribe to our channel. We get enough comments on it, maybe we'll do an episode of that, right?
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun to have that discussion. But
so some of the things though that we were talking about before is you were saying that the one of the things that the way you said it is that they were selling like a tennis table for.
Oh, we talked about my producer was talking about how he enjoyed watching a video about the robots playing table tennis.
Yes.
And I think you took it as they're selling table tennis.
Why the heck would you want to buy a table, like the whole table with having two robots play?
Right.
I'm like, that sounds total waste of money. But then you ended up saying it's more about they were showing off the technology of how quick it is with how it can program to actually see the ball come, the spin, and all those type of things.
Yeah. So the cool thing about some of these shows is that a lot of these companies have to show, not tell, right? They have to figure out how to creatively show off what their AI could do or their robots could do. And some of these companies, they're showing off robot capability. So this company was showing off the finesse of what their robots could do. They had fake hands. They were using paddles. So they're showing off how fast their AI or their system was to calculate things like the curvature of ball, the camera, the seeing things and recognizing it, because it's in the open area, tons of people around, but it was able to track a small ball, right? Flying at 5-10 miles an hour, because those things are getting smacked around pretty fast. And it was able to see, recognize, calculate, and do something and hit it back, right? The amount of calculation in that is very large. There's a lot that goes into figuring something like that out. So they're showing that off because in the background, they also have videos of these robots moving very expensive things. So in the world of like creation of cars or phones or things like that, you have to understand some of these microchips are very delicate and they're very expensive. Think about your phone. How much does your phone cost? Like $1,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Realistically, probably cost $200 or $300 to the end user, but like those microchips are very small and delicate.
But they're trying to do it fast.
They're trying to also be very fast.
So
So fast and delicate is a thing, and they're showing off the finesse of what this can do, why you should use our system, right? Why you shouldn't buy our stuff. We also saw robots walking around and dancing and like making drinks. It was less robots this year than previous because one year they really went heavy into robots, and there were some really creepy robots. Like everyone's like, oh, this is the one that's going to kill us all type creepy robots.
Gotcha. Like the Megans.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So part of the reason we ended up naming this Everything's AI is because some of the stuff you saw was ridiculous on what's AI, right? Or it's almost like they just add AI because that's the hot name, even though it had nothing to do with AI.
Oh yeah, I got so annoyed. So I went to CES. I go every year because it's a thing I do. It's my vacation. But I also go to see how my business can improve. As you know, I own a business, and AI is a very big deal. And so I wanted to see any new AI developments, especially marketing, video. I had some very specific things I wanted to see. And so we went this year, and almost everyone had literally AI after their name. So I had things like soda AI or like whatever. I was like, why is everything of AI? It was like this hot button word and keyword they were trying to use to get people to come to their booth. Come to find out, none of them were using, or they're using like ChatGPT in their stuff, but it wasn't an AI they developed, or they have like an app they're calling AI, which isn't real AI, or it like is a smart device and they threw AI in.
So basically something thinks in the background by itself. And so if that's the case,
AI.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is not AI. I got really, really annoyed because it's like, it was hard to figure out what was and wasn't AI without having a couple conversations. And some of the vendors weren't happy with me because I asked them.
You questioned?
I questioned it. I was
what?
like,
you questioned?
What part of this is AI? Well, we have an app. Is the app AI? Well, there's an AI feature, so you're not AI. Well, I was like, okay, so what do you actually do? I'm like, okay, great. Moving on. And they weren't, that's not great when you have like 20 other people there listening to me asking questions.
Yeah.
All of them going, oh, he's right. And they all leave. That does not make someone happy.
Yeah.
There were a couple of those conversations. I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just trying to understand, and I asked questions. And as you know, I ask some good questions sometimes because I'm digging in and trying to really understand what someone does. And how's this applicable? Because I'm in my mind, I'm like, trying to, how do I leverage this? So everything was AI. I'm surprised there was an AI water. Like, smart water, now AI water.
It filters it to your desire.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, not a bad idea.
So
pH.
That's why I was like, yeah, everything's AI. Air's AI. Like everything's AI when it isn't. It just was a keyword people are using as a buzzword that I think it was a mistake. And I've even talked to some other people recently. Separate note, we work with businesses. We help with their marketing. We had a company that has AI in their name we're working with. We're like, so what do you guys do that's AI? Like, oh no, we help review stuff. I said, yeah, we should drop that because I don't think that's helping you. It's not. It's going to give people the wrong impression.
Yeah.
And I think that was a big, I think it was a mistake for a lot of companies there that did that because I think people walked away disappointed. And
they thought it would bring it to them.
Yeah.
And then once they got there, now they're like, well, this is useless. And now you're just using the buzzword.
And you never want, like, that's the worst thing you can do. Cause you asked about size. So there's a reason why it's annoying. So as I joked, this is a super small event. We only had
7 stories.
Yeah.
Is it something like that?
It's 3 convention center buildings. I think I was telling you I was walking 10 to 15 miles a day to cover this, and I hit maybe a third of the vendors. I think there was something like 20,000 to 30,000 vendors across 3 different buildings.
So that's why it gets annoying because then you have to go through all of the BS of the ones that
you can't hit everybody, and you really want to hit the stuff that makes sense for you. Now this year I used AI on purpose to figure out what I wanted to go see. So I used like Perplexity because Perplexity does real-time information. So I was able to find booths I wanted to go to. They told me exactly what the booth number is and what building, which was awesome and brand new because the years before I couldn't do that. So I was able to find some things I wanted to that I wouldn't be able to do before. So that was kind of cool.
Do they split it up in like all cars here, all tractors here, or do they try and separate it so this way people will go through the convention of see things?
They do have sections, but it's not as clean as this is cars. Now there was one of that was mostly car and like that type of technology. Like there was like Jeep and a couple other companies there. There was a flying car. There was some like a drone thing that people are pushing that you don't have to have a license to fly basically, which I guarantee you in like the next 3 months, there'll be new rules and you will have to have a license. The minute that thing comes out, there'll be new rules. Which is really cool to see the Jetson type car and stuff. Right. And so there were a lot of cars grouped in an area, but they also had like John Deere as well, because that's a tractor.
Yeah.
They had Cat, which is more like machine stuff. So like they grouped it kind of sort of. They grouped like all the gaming stuff together, but you had everything from keyboards to like full on video games and arcade machines to pinballs in that area. And then we also had things like, the seats you can sit in that's like they'll move and stuff. And so there was a game or a virtual game.
Roller coaster?
Yeah, it was kind of like a roller coaster.
Okay.
It was a rocket. So you would experience what a rocket is and what space would feel like. So you got into like this little chair, you put a VR set on, they have to lock you down because it shoots you up and it spins you 360 degrees around. Like it literally spun this person.
Like what you see in the movies for simulations for
It wasn't that crazy as fast, but it was pretty cool to see that someone got spun around. It was fun to watch. Yeah.
You didn't try it, huh?
Yeah, I did not. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of weight, but I'm pretty sure I'm still not quite.
Still want to walk around, not in a daze. That would be me.
I don't want to test. I don't want to be the one who breaks this thing.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff.
So did you find things that you were looking for your business?
No.
I was going to say, that took too long to answer.
Yeah,
So
I went with some very specific goals for my business. I had a hit list. I found a couple things. First, the thing I want doesn't exist yet. And I found some companies that were closer. So one of the things I want for my company is I want an archival system that uses AI to identify what a video is and give me notes and automatically tags them. So I don't have to pay someone to watch a video and take notes. I want AI to do it. Doesn't really exist yet. At least not to the public. So we got close. There were 2 or 3 people, and then I tested it. And let me tell you something. If you want to sell someone like me and you say it will do something, and then you let me test it and it doesn't do the thing you just said, it is bad. It is bad when there are 50 people watching you test something live and it doesn't do the thing you just said it does. That is very bad. Do not let Haynes near your stuff if it doesn't do the thing it says it's supposed to do. So unfortunately, there's at least one group of people that I am blacklisted from ever talking to again. They were very mad at me. I was like, well, you said it does this. Well, it does. I said, no, it doesn't. We just tested this. And I did like 5 or 6 tests and they're like, well, what we meant was, I said, no, it's not what you said. So I get it, because you're trying to sell an idea. And I think sometimes there's also a slight language barrier. So we have people from all around the world. We have people from Israel, from China, from Korea. Literally, there's a booth just say Korea on it. And they're from Korea, and they're some really cool stuff and things from Japan. And sometimes there's a slight language barrier. So
gotcha.
That can happen. This case probably was what the issue was. They had someone there answering questions, but I don't think they knew all the.
Should have had AI help.
Yeah. Now there was some technology, a lot of technology about translation, which was kind of cool. And I was like, maybe I should go pick one of these up before I ask any more questions. But yeah, we're close. I was looking for some very specific things for marketing, and I didn't find them, which is good news, because it means that I'm already using the most cutting edge, and there's room and solutions that need to be developed, which some of my team is working on because I see a need. So if anything, that gives me hope for the future, something to look forward to. I was sad because I didn't find the solution I want. But it also made me happy that it doesn't exist, because
business opportunity,
right? There's a business opportunity, but also it's not like I'm missing something and I just missed it, right? That happens sometimes. We're like, I wish I knew about this 2 years ago. This would have saved me hundreds of hours. So I didn't really find the things I wanted, but that was okay, because I went with questions and I came back with answers. Unfortunately, the answers were, it does not exist yet. Happens. Yeah. But I think what I'm working on developing will help me and my business. So it's a different conversation.
Overall, though, now you're looking at more of a vacation than it was a success for business.
Huge. Oh, it was definitely always vacation. I try not to go to work there because it's like I get like 1 week off a year.
Gotcha.
That's my week to go play.
Yeah.
I'd end up inadvertently picking up a couple leads because they're like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I own a marketing company." "Do you help small businesses?" "Yeah, this is what we start at." "Can we get your stuff?" "Yeah, here's my number."
Oh, good.
It never really amounts to anything. This is the first year that actually someone reached out afterwards and I'm talking to. So there's a company, weirdly enough, works on abacusses, where you like do the math thing.
Yeah.
They sell to schools, and I have a connection to someone who's in schools. So it wasn't directly to me, but I have a connection, one of my clients. And so like, hey, do you guys need help getting into schools? Yes. What would you guys like to talk? Yes, please.
Good.
Would you guys be willing to do a pricing model so we can upsell?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, let me connect you. So like that worked out really well, but there's a couple other people that I was hoping would reach out that haven't reached out. And that's not abnormal. They're talking to thousands of people, right? I think there were 100,000 people went through this thing. Like I said, there was like 4 to 5 buildings, giant convention centers, like halls. Like there'd be one of the places had like 300 or 400 vendors in one room. It was just they're like you had 10 feet and they're just lined up in rows of all these little things, and they had banners on what they do, and they have TVs up, and yeah, there's so much you could not hit all of it.
Gotcha.
You would take like probably 2 or 3 weeks to hit every vendor if you actually were able to go to each one, have a conversation. It'd probably take 2 or 3 weeks with like a couple hours of sleep. Like that's how many people are there. It's a lot. So we didn't get to see everything. We saw some really cool stuff. Yeah.
So one of the things that I found interesting. So today we went to lunch with somebody in our BNI group.
Yeah.
And he's a roofer.
Yeah.
And he just went to a convention there in Vegas as well. And he was talking about a little bit of AI that he was handling. And I bring this into the subject because a couple podcasts ago, we ended up talking about how AI is going to take over on even being a plumber.
Yeah.
And so that's why I kind of thought it was interesting how we brought this up. Of one of the things that he found interesting was there was AI on training how to sell.
Yeah.
And so he put the VR on, and he could ask it questions, it would answer back, and he was on expert level, and he got to basically to where they only asked for his card.
Right.
So, but it's just that's AI is there for a lot of these things.
Yeah.
And even in the trades, like we talked about before.
100%. And
so, well, it's into farmers, right? I mean, obviously.
Farmers.
So it's just.
Now, I have a bit of good news for everyone who's anti-AI and afraid of losing their job. The good news, we could all become professional clothes folders and laundry because apparently robots cannot still do laundry, unfortunately. There's a video going around about a robot that just failed miserably at folding. It's great. Go look it up. It's painful to watch, but it also gives me hope that there are some things that humans can still do better. Now, there is a joke, and in my world of content creators, a lot of people are salty and annoyed because they said, "Hey, I want a robot to do my laundry, so I could do more art, not for them to do my art, so I can spend more time doing laundry." And that's very true. So in the AI world, like we saw white collar jobs be gobbled up by AI. We are going to, in the next 5 years, see blue collar jobs eventually be gobbled up. And I still tell people like AI is your friend. If you learn how to use it, someone will still need to do something with it. And that was very true. Like none of this was so autonomous that you didn't need someone to hit a button or do something or set it up or program it or build it. And that's where the opportunity is. The cool thing is you can, with no knowledge of how to program, build amazing apps and amazing things to help people and solve problems the world has needed to be solved through using LLMs and language models and AI. It's really, to me, it's a golden opportunity. Instead of being afraid, I say run toward it and figure out how to use it for you.
Well, we talked about that a couple podcasts ago as well, is every era has its new technology, the industrial revolution, the email, the webs, www, everything in there is at that point, everybody thought it'll never be the same and we're all doomed.
Yeah.
And yet we still find a way to make sure we persevere.
Absolutely. And you were in a conversation today where we were talking about some AI stuff with this other friend. And I made a statement that I think you caught. I said, well, the next year or two, it's going to get about 10 times more expensive to do AI. And I'm working on building that into my model now so people don't have whiplash. So the companies who are figuring it out now will survive and everyone will basically be priced out because it'll get way more difficult to have AI. It will definitely be the backbone of things. But just like now where you have to be a business who can afford the special tools, there will be businesses who build large businesses who make a lot of money because they have the money to pay for the tools or they built their own tools. Whereas the average person, it just will be more cost. It won't be as cost effective.
Well, it was interesting because a while back, 6 months ago, we ended up, I let an admin go in my office.
Yeah.
And so we were playing with the idea of, do we actually hire another admin in, or we have actually now taken on some AI technology that goes with our software. Mm-hmm. And the cost of the AI technology is double what our software is. Now they integrate really well. They merge companies just to integrate it.
Nice.
But it's almost to the point to where the cost is almost the cost of my admin. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that was great that we were able to save the money on the admin, but it maybe is saving me $10,000 a year. I mean, once you get past all insurance, workers' comp,
yep.
maybe $10,000 a year on that one thing. So, it's going to have to balance itself out to where it's not always going to be, because everybody's going to want to keep getting higher and higher prices.
Yeah. And I think we can have another conversation about where AI is going and the cost, and it's going to people are going to get smart, and there are people who are going to build their own things, and they're going to leverage, and they're going to make money. Just like anything else, right now we're at the very beginning stages. So those who are early to adopt will reap rewards, just like everything else. Remember when Facebook first came out and there are people like, oh, Facebook won't be a thing. Who's going to market on Facebook? It's super cheap to market on Facebook, like pennies.
Yeah.
Now it's like $70 to get a click, right? We've had like a 7,000% increase on ad costs on Facebook. So if you were there at the beginning, you were cleaning up, you're making a ton of money for very little. You loved it. Well, things progress now. Everyone's using it. It became way more expensive. It's just the cost of doing business and how it works. Same thing's going to be happening with AI. But like I said, that's another conversation for another time.
Yeah. I was just more saying it as again, we've had this conversation, but just don't be scared of it. No. You got to embrace it.
I mean, you've embraced it, which is a testament to it's not that scary, because you were like big anti, like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yep.
And now you're like, oh yeah, I had my AI do this. I'm like, who are you?
Yep.
Has it taken over your body?
Yes.
What is your name? Tell me, look at me in the eyes and tell me your name.
I have no chips in me.
Yeah. Love it. Anyway, well, I don't want to go too long about this conversation, but I had a lot of fun, and I'm back, and I have other fun conversations, and I still am my real person, and I swear on the Bible of
I don't see any glitches in your eyes while while we're doing this. So yeah.
Must sign up for ChatGPT. Your overlords demand it.
Everybody got scanned as they left.
Yeah. Everybody's got a
microchip in
everybody. Yes. White red light that went off, and I don't remember what happened, but I feel really good. I don't know
why I've got the barcode on the back of my neck now. I
have this need to have people sign up. Well, good. This chip in you would be fine.
Well, so it was great. Besides what you came back with, I guess, right?
Yeah, I got sick.
I
got the death.
Ultra virus.
Yeah, I got that bad virus that went around and killed you for like 2 weeks, but I'm better now.
Good.
The robot in me.
Yes.
No, it was a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun. We'll probably touch back on it as things come up about, oh yeah, I saw something about that. Next couple of years, we'll see some of the stuff come out, and I'll randomly go, oh yeah, I saw that CES. I tried it out.
Okay.
So I think it'll come back up over this next year and a couple other podcasts. So,
all right.
Of course, remember, if you do want us to talk about things that we highlighted, like the vending machine conversation, or more about, hey, I have a question about what you saw at CES, we'd love for you to leave a comment in the section below, because it helps us understand what you want us to talk about. Maybe we'll do an episode about it. Of course, hit that like button, hit that follow button, because that tells us that you love us, and we are desperate for your love. I need it. Until next time, we are
the Average White Guys.